Hello, guys, and welcome to this kind of extra special episode of Halo Wars. In this episode, I'm just gonna kind of show you guys what, not necessarily how to use Cutter, but kind of how I would use Cutter in a multiplayer map setting. And as you can see, I'm using Cutter against 3 random moles so that it kind of simulates a real online situation. And pretty much, there's really nothing else I can really say. Do note that this is a 3v3, and how you use Cotter can vary depending on. Uh, Sorry about that. How you use Cotter can vary depending if you're doing 1v1s, 2v2s, and 3v3s. So keep that in mind. Uh, so pretty much what I like to do, and you can kind of change how you do this, but how I do it is by making 4 supply pads first and then have a reactor. Now you can switch it around however you want. Another way is can build 2 supply pads reactor, 2 supply pads. That way when the reactor comes up you can upgrade your supply pads right off the bat, and it would help out uh, make supplies come in faster. And one thing I like to do is kind of check to see who's on my team and who's not. And I can't really say I'd be playing the same way since certain bots, but yeah, kind of interesting. I will probably also be doing kind of a episode on playing as each person on Xbox Live, so you can kind of see a real live example. Now, one thing you do gotta kind of note about playing against computers is they do kind of like rushing you and kind of just keep on harassing you with more and more soldiers. So do keep that in mind when you play as them. Now, pretty much while this is kind of getting ready and done building and all that, you kind of want to go around the map looking for supplies. So it helps you by the time your reactor comes up and everything. Now, when you're playing online, you kind of don't have to worry about your teammates selling your supplies, although you never know. But most teammates won't really steal your supplies from you, so you don't have to worry about that. Now, what I'm probably gonna do is go for my ODSC right off the bat. Now, most people, when they're playing as a human, most people on average will usually go for their super units right off the bat. So you can kind of prepare for that attack. Now, once the reactor's up, you kind of have 2 choices on what you want to do. One, you could build advanced reactor right off the bat, or you can sit here and upgrade to heavy supply pads. And I'm gonna sit here and upgrade to heavy supply pads so that I can get more of a better economy coming in. And along with that, I'll be building 2 barracks. Now, you don't really have to build 2 barracks if you don't want to. You can build one and kind of build units from that one, let that go, and kind of just build another supply pad if you want, or a reactor, or just kind of whatever you want. But for me, I'm going to be building 2 barracks. And even though like, I got my barracks up, I'm not necessarily gonna sit here and start building units from there quite yet. I'm gonna sit there, wait until I get the reactor up, like that. And then after I got the reactor up, I'm gonna be building kind of a little small army. And from there, I'll just kind of do whatever the situation calls for. And as you can kind of see, no matter if you have AI teammates or AI opponents, one side or the other is gonna rush. And to kind of say the truth, and when you're playing online, you will more than likely kind of encounter rushers. So you do gotta kind of be prepared for that. Now, now as you can kind of see, I'm kind of just killing off my warhog right there because I don't really have any use for it anymore. Now, some people might not agree and just kind of keep them around. But once I get a small army of about 10, I'm just gonna start going around taking out stuff. Some people would, some people might disagree with the size. Some people might build a little small army so they can gain a ventrancy, or some people might do a full population. It's really just up to the person, doesn't matter. Now for this map, there are kind of AI um, people, and you do kind of want to come over here, take them out, so your army can get ventrancy, like you just saw right there, and you will also get supplies for killing them off. So do keep that in mind. And now that I got like a little small army going, I'm gonna build a second reactor. And one thing you could also do is build Spartans, since Spartans don't really take over um, any space when you actually build them, since they're uh, special units pretty much, and they are the only ones on the UNSC side that don't take up any space whatsoever, and vice versa. Same thing for Covenant leaders. Covenant leaders don't take any space whatsoever, so you can be kind of grateful for that. And now that I kind of saw that the enemy has people right there, looks like they might. Yeah, looks like they might shooting. I was gonna say I'm gonna kind of fall back so I can defend myself, but that's gonna uh, whoever it wants to call. In all honesty, it's like up to the person how you want to play. Some people will kind of have the same build-up strat. Some people might not. So it is honestly all entirely up to you on how you uh, build units or not. And one thing I do gotta mention is if you are playing online, if you see on the game pause, you do have the option of doing skulls. In multiplayer, you can't activate any skulls whatsoever. So don't kind of expect there and try to use any skulls. And one thing you do gotta watch out for with Covenant is later power, which you can kind of see that the Prophet soon. So if you want to kind of make him stop, you can just start down Destruction Bomb, and that will cease leader power, and it will also stop you, UNSC, from stop using theirs. So kind of useful thing to keep in mind. And since he's being a little chicken, yeah, he is. I'm just gonna fall back and let that be. But also one other noteworthy thing about Destruction Bomb is if you do see a heal on someone's unit, you can use the Destruction Bomb to kind of kill that off, so the enemy can't sit there and use heal anymore. Kind of scatterbrain. So one thing I do like about Cutter as the leader. Okay, I'm not asking how they're shooting, but alright. That was really weird. But like I was saying, one thing I do like about Cutter as leader is the fact that after you get the ODSC, since you have the ODSC drop, you can kind of just start building whatever you want. After that, you can go vehicles or air, just depending on how you. What kind of secondary you like to do. Most cutters that I see will usually go with scorpions, and quite frankly, it's up to the person. I personally probably wouldn't go with grizzlies, not grizzlies, just scorpions. That kind of be unfair to sit there and have cutter have two super units. um, but like I was saying, I personally really don't go for ground forces unless I am playing as a Covenant or as Forge. Like I said, most people I see will usually go for uh, Scorpion tanks because of how good they are and how much damage they can actually put out. But me personally, I don't go for them. Unless it depends on the situation, on who I'm facing, but kind of since I'm facing bots, it's kind of like whatever. But yeah, now that I took over this base, I am gonna go off to the other base and kind of get that going. Get that base. Now, you might want to keep around barracks around just so you can keep on building spawns. If they do die or not, it's totally up to you guys. I probably actually won't keep my barracks around once I get my spawns upgraded all the way. But like I said, it's a personal call. And also, you could actually build a elephant, which is one of Cutter's special units. Because along with their special powers, super units, each leader has their own kind of special unit they have. And for Cutter has elephants, which is a mobile mini base, which I I really don't see many cutters actually using an elephant. There are some people that will use an elephant just so they can kind of harass an enemy, and by that I kind of mean building an elephant right off the base, kind of putting it right outside the base, build units from there, and just keep on harassing them so easily. But like I said, that's not how I play. So it's one thing to keep in mind if you are a cutter. And I actually don't really even know how to even do that, so let alone I'm not gonna bother trying or even trying to show you guys. It's more likely than not I'm probably gonna be doing a run and it's gonna suck. Now that I got the what was it? Um whatever. Spoiler laser, there we go. I was just gonna kill the barracks off. And one other thing is with Cutter, uh, the special thing about his base is that it starts off with one higher base structure than all the other. Uh, what was it? All the other units see. Oh, hey, it's kind of profit again. Yeah, now I'm just gonna go and kill him off. Some kind of getting tired of him. And one thing you do kind of have to be worried about is 3-star leader. 3-star leaders are pretty beastly in terms of how much damage they do and whatnot. But depending on what kind of units you use, they can easily be taken out, especially if you're going against someone who's kind of skilled and know what they're doing. So I'm gonna kind of yeah, that surprise. But I'm not really claiming that I'm that skilled. Oh, what the freak? Okay, I w- see, Cutter knows. knows not to build a ground forces. I was honestly not even expecting Cutter to have built uh, whatchamacallit, vultures. Well, like I was kind of saying, vultures are basically because they're mega bras, but they are weak in terms of their hit points. So it's kind of a, I guess, double-edged sword, depending on how you look at it. But yeah. And actually, like you kind of saw, the vultures kind of got taken out pretty easily with ASC and a few rocket RPG blasts. I don't know why I can't really even sit there and think. Yeah, there we go. And one thing you do have to watch out for is to make sure that the enemy isn't building on your line, or I mean your side, because by that time it might be too late and you might kind of be burning yourself a hole. But then again, it's kind of up to you if you can actually deal with it, or you and your teammates are fine if the enemy builds one. Most more times than not, your teammates will probably want it to be killed off. Now, one thing you probably do see me doing, which I didn't do on the campaign, is kind of not what was it? Not building turrets. I generally don't build turrets on my base until, I mean, not until, but unless there's kind of a rush going on. I don't know why I built 2 field armories. Oh yeah, one thing I kind of forgot to mention in the campaign is field armories are pretty much what helps your army more so than not. Sorry about that. So if you do get time, I would definitely build a field armory to upgrade your Mac Blast, Carpet Bomb, or Cryo, depending on who you are. And also, when you're playing multiplayer, if you play through the campaign, you pretty much have the same stuff you do when you play the campaign. You got the transport, ODST drop, Mac Blast, Destruction Bomb, which is new, since you don't get any Destruction Bombs in the campaign, and Heal and Repair. And kind of like what I was saying, the heal, not Destruction Bomb is good for stopping enemy leaders like that, since more times than not, enemy leaders are somewhat deadly, and you kind of have to deal with it before it becomes a nuisance and gets bigger and stronger, and it does more damage than it needs to be done. But yeah, so I'm gonna actually sit here and build some vultures to just kind of wrap this up, since I'm not trying to make this into a long game through. Oh, and pretty much when it comes to units that you can build and everything like that, you have the same stuff as you do in campaign, but the super units like the Grizzlies from Mission 3, those can only be controlled by not Cutter. They can only be controlled by Forge, so you would actually use Forge if you want to get Grizzlies. And then the ODSC are Cutter specials, so if you want to use ODSC, you gotta use Cutter. So do keep that in mind when you're playing as them. But I'll pretty much gonna go kind of more into detail about what was it? Each person's power, what they have for them and not. I can't remember what I was trying to say. But yeah, like I was saying, for Cutter, once you pretty much research ODSC, you can pretty much switch it up, since you can always ODSC drop to a certain location, and it'd definitely be pretty beneficial for your team. So do keep that in mind if you are playing as a Cutter. I didn't even notice my problem was a 1 star. So I'm just gonna, like I said, I'm just gonna go in for the finishing off. One thing you do gotta realize about vultures, they are very slow moving, so try to kind of avoid a hot area where there's a lot of enemy units, or else they might be killed off before they even get to the area. And now that I can have everything from the field armory I was interested in, I'm just gonna kill that off. Oh, and pretty much like I was saying about the ODST drop, it's definitely beneficial because, I mean, say you only have a couple of units left, uh, you can easily just sit there and ODSC drop to have another unit come in and replace them. I mean, it's definitely beneficial like this. Like, you saw how fast my population would have gone from 0 to 6. But it also takes a little time for it to get back the ODSCs that, I mean, for a new ODSC to be made. And there's one of my vultures. But now I'm just gonna move on to Emma's main base. Now, one thing you do gotta realize about Mac Blast is, well, you probably should not go for the main base like that, because even though you do a lot of damage, it's better off to kind of aim for the buildings around it, so you can kind of kill the buildings around it, and at the same time damage the main base itself. So hopefully the buildings around it will blow up, and you'll do more damage to the main base instead of just targeting the main base itself. But I mean, that's kind of a personal call. I'll probably see maybe like half the people will actually target the main base to kind of just kill it off instead of worrying about the excess buildings. Really like nothing else I can really talk about. Oh yeah, and as you can kind of see, vultures do have a kind of high attack fire rate, so that is a definitely a good thing about them. But like I said, they are also very weak to kind of any attack done to them, so you definitely have to be careful about that. Looks like that Scorpion's a 7-star. And kind of to wait. Oh, that's a bird shoots him. What was I gonna say? I can't remember. Oh, when you do have a Spartan in a vehicle, that vehicle can actually become a level 6. I do want to say a level 16-star vehicle, and those will be pretty good to use. So it's definitely worth trying to keep your vehicles around for a while. And one thing you do got to realize about UNSC buildings is that if you keep the buildings around, it will the main base itself will take less damage than if there are less buildings around. So if you kind of want to kill off the building faster, it's probably definitely worth it to kill like a building or two off, so that when you start attacking the main base, you'll do kind of higher damage and the base will fall faster. But it's kind of a personal call. And I used to definitely have made some agile units. Nah. I'm gonna kill this off really fast since I wasn't really thinking about building I mean, doing reserves. No, not reserves, adrenaline. I don't know why I wasn't thinking. I'll kill them off. Actually, it'll probably be the last bit of yellow's units. That's cute. And also, one thing you want to do is once you kill off a base, if you saw off enough units to kind of maintain that area, it would definitely be worthwhile to kind of take the base so you know if the enemy comes back to that area and it starts attacking, you know where they're at. So it would definitely be easier to take out the enemy's army. Oh, sorry. Getting a lot of photos. Yeah, and like I said, I definitely wish I could have had faster units because vultures are slow. These guys are slow. And our bases are gonna get wiped out. Although I probably should have just used a teleporter. Oh, one thing about this map is that teleporters back behind your bases. This one right here would teleport you to this, and vice versa. Some of the vultures over here. I wish there was kind of a little upgrade to make vultures move faster. Just because they're just so slow. And it is actually kind of one reason I do prefer hornets above vultures. It's because hornets are more agile. Not as agile as, can I say, what was it? Banshees. Banshees are definitely fast. But, like I said, I can't do Banshees since I'm a human. Yeah, now kind of becomes a pain of hunting down all the enemy bases. And one thing you do have to be careful about with the chieftain is his stun ability with his hammer. That, like I was saying, that's definitely one thing you should be worried about. Because even if you have a tank or kind of what was it, ODST, that kind of stuff, he can still stun them. The only thing that can't be stun are kind of air units and other Covenant leaders. Other than that, you are pretty much going to be stunned no matter what. And there we go. So, like I was saying, it's just kind of how I somewhat use Cutter. It's not necessarily the best way, probably, or anything like that, but I'm just kind of, like I said, showing you how I use him and kind of trying to see what his benefits are and all that kind of stuff like that. But yeah, with that, I'll see you guys in the next kind of free episode special, in which case I'll be using the Covenant's Arbiter. And one thing I do have to say is, in this little screen, if you look at the person right below the name, Captain Cutter, will tell you like everything about what's special about that person. Like I said, Captain Cutter's unique unit is an elephant. Earlier powers are Backlash, and super unit is ODSC. And the thing I was thinking about with the base is the bonus. The bonuses tell you, what extra they have. And like I said, Captain Cutter, the base starts off with like one higher, what they say is higher tech level, but it's just kind of like a better building. But like I said, in the next episode we'll be doing the Covenant's Arbiter. So I hope you guys can enjoy this bonus footage of me playing as Cutter. And hope you guys might have learned a thing or two about Cutter. And if not, then I guess oh well. But see you guys in the next bonus footage, and see you guys in the next time. Have a good day, everyone.